CFUW is a national organization. There are 99 clubs from coast to coast. It started in 1919 as a national organization. World War I had just ended, and women had found a new role outside of the home.
It was a time when women were getting more education than they ever had. They were getting prepared for work, and there was opportunities for work because all the men were away fighting in the war.
Our organization first started in 1939 on April 25th, when 50 women got together and decided to join the Federation of University Women's Club for Canada and open a club here.
We were the 24th club in all of Canada to get started. And when you look back again, there was another war lurking on the horizon. And I think with that in mind, women said, we've got to be prepared to maybe do this again and get involved outside of the home and keep this country running.
They also wanted to make changes in society. They wanted things to be better for families, for children, for women, for everybody in their communities.
Our club makes me most proud when I think of our robust and strong scholarship fund. In 1939, when those women got together, one of the first things they said was that it is education that's going to make a difference in women's lives.
We started out in 1939 giving a $15 scholarship. We have so far gone over $400,000 in scholarships.
We offer approximately $20,000 in scholarships every year.
We have never failed to issue scholarships year after year after year since we started.
Raising money for scholarships is a whole club effort.
Our biggest fundraiser currently is our annual garden tour, and it raises about $15,000 every year. The club produced 2 books, Quinte Women of Distinction and a cookbook called Quinte Cuisine.
Well, one of our members received a book from the Brantford Club that was very similar. It was about women who had made a difference in the Brantford area. And we saw that book, and we heard one of the Brantford members talk about what an exciting project it had been. So Joan Butler in our club got the idea that we could do a similar book as a fundraising project. The net proceeds, 100% of them went to scholarships for local students to do post-secondary education. And we had a printing of 1,500 books, and we made $47,000. Joan had lots of good ideas, and she loved to get people involved. So a year after we had taken a rest from doing Quinte Women of Distinction, Joan thought we could do a cookbook.
So beyond scholarships, CFUW has reached out in the community, most recently with a project that we call Empowering Young Women.
And the Empowering Young Women Interest Group, which is what it's called in CFUW, came about as a result of a spring forum that looked at poverty in Belleville. So we formed a group of people that met with organizations in Belleville that work with young people that have had challenges in their life. And currently we're working with 2 organizations, Abigail's Learning Center and Quantum Quinte.
In 2003, 2 of our members had the idea of providing more public education. All our membership is interested in education, and women's education in particular, but they really wanted to get out to the public and say, let's bring in interesting speakers on topics of public interest right now, and let's invite the public to come. Since 2003, we have covered a gamut of topics. We started out with education, we moved on to health, we brought in the environment, we've had Stevie Cameron, who talked about the missing and murdered women in BC. We've gone all over the place. Kevin Page, as a parliamentary budget officer, came in and talked to us about politics. Eugene Lang came and talked to us about Canada in Kandahar. The environmental issue was about aliens among us, and the poster itself is scary enough. We've had varying levels of attendance at these spring forums depending on the topic. The best attendance we did have was with Monia Mazik, and that was post 9/11, and she talked about rights at risk, which was a very scary topic at the time, and she brought us some excellent messaging.
Our club has a long history of hosting educational and entertaining activities for children and youth throughout the Quinte area. Originally founded in 1976 by the Quinte Arts Council, Just for Fun was transferred to our club in 1979. That year we brought Sharon, Lois and Bram to Belleville. During the 1980s, the Moms and Tots interest group did double duty, participating in the club's interest group and serving as the organizing committee for our special community-wide theater events, craft days for children, and career days for teenagers. For over a decade, these were incredibly well-received community events. As a club, we then paused these activities while other priorities took hold. In 2007, due to renewed interest by some club members, family concerts began. Annabella Canto in November that year and Rhythm and Stomp in February of 2008 set the standard for children's concerts at a very reasonable cost of $5 each. Bringing children's entertainment to the Quinte area is a club initiative that we do in partnership with the Belleville Public Library Children's and Youth Services. Each year we have contracted with Jeunesse Musicale Canada. We offer the family concerts as a gift to the community, and to do so, we fundraise and nurture financial support from the community, including seeking grants and sponsorship. Some performances we have featured since 2007 include Mozart's Flights of Fancy, The Great Rhythmobile Adventure, The Story of Babar, Fred Piston and His Seven Trumpets, Orfeo and the Golden Harp, Peter and the Wolf, and this year, Opera Candy, The Story of Hansel and Gretel.
CFUW Belleville and District is part of the national organization, one of whose goals is education for women. But beyond that, advocacy is supremely important to the organization at a local level, provincial level, national level, international level. Since 1939, our club has studied, has brought in speakers on issues of public interest. We've had interest groups that have gone under different names. Sometimes it's the social action group, sometimes it's the advocacy group, but they all have the same interests in peace amongst us and how to make a better civilization.
Back in the early 80s, the need for childcare at BCI High School was identified by Ruth Boyce, vice principal of the high school. And she was connected with the Status of Women group of our CFUW Belleville. And between the two of them, the club, CFUW Belleville, was instrumental in raising the money, and the daycare was installed at BCI. And it has, when BCI closed, it moved to Quinte Secondary School. And just last year, they closed Quinte Secondary School, and the daycare, just before Christmas, was moved to Parkdale. So it's thriving.
Originally, every member had to have a university degree to be a member of the Federation of University Women. However, in 2012, one of our members, Mary Lee Bird, was a member of the National Membership Committee, and she made the changes so that the club became more open to women who share the goals and values of CFUW but don't necessarily have a university degree. So now, if you would like to join us, we'd like to have you.
It means a chance to be part of a community of like-minded people, to have friends and colleagues that we have lots of fun doing things together.
CFUW to me primarily is friendships and connectivity. When I moved here 15 years ago, I knew one family in Belleville, and joining CFUW introduced me to 130 other women.